People don't really know, like, how I was a makeup artist when I was a kid. Like, I worked at the counter. How, like, even before that, though, like, what a huge passion makeup was for me and still is every single day. Like, I get lost in doing my makeup. Like, I'm like, shoot, okay, I have to put my alarm on my phone. Like, you got 15 minutes. Like, or else I'll just keep going. Like, oh, maybe I'll do, you know. Hi, what's up? It's Gwen Stefani, and right now I'm about to look back at some of my most memorable fashion moments. First one, 1989. Was I born? I don't know. I get so much joy when I look at this photo. I was working at the Broadway makeup counter, and I know that I got that bathing suit top there at a discount in the very far back, because basically they would put all the sale stuff in this one room, and on my break I would spend my whole check like trying to get like 50% off plus my employee discount. And so I know that that top was in there, and I know that that skirt was in there, and I know that that perm that I'm wearing is a perm, a bob perm, and you know it looked good. This is probably when my life changed big time. Had been in my band already for 9 years, and Just a Girl just came out. In this photo right here, I remember getting that jacket at some thrift store. I remember those pants I had made. I had found this girl that could make clothes, and so I found this old pair of trousers, like men's trousers, and she like knocked off the pattern, and then she would make me these different pants and sort of like send them out in a FedEx like to me on tour. And she would go downtown and clip all these different little like fabric samples and staple them to the paper and be like, number 7. And I'd be like, okay, I want number 7. And then I want like that like reflective tape down the side. And so I can recognize that. I can recognize that belt buckle that I did myself. Like I hot glue gunned all those little like diamonds on there. I was like a homemade girl. That is my own hair that I did myself. That is my own eyebrows that I plucked. And that is my own bindi that my bass player's mom gave me. I had been on tour forever. I came home, and I remember going into my house, and like people started sending me free stuff like all the time. And I would get home and there'd be piles of this like just stuff. And someone had sent me this new product that you could put in your hair to make it like change colors. And so I was like, oh, it's like a paste. So again, no stylist, no nothing. And I was like, I know what I want to look like when I go to the MTV Awards. I want to look like Judy Jetson. Like that was my inspiration. So I had that little skirt and pant thing made. I was wearing some like thongs that I had gotten from like when I was in Japan, and maybe that little blue fur top that you guys like to wear for Halloween was something that I wore for real. Like I thought that was like, you know, it was free. It was at my house. So yeah, I mean, that's an iconic look, you know? I remember that phase. I remember that I had broken up with my boyfriend, and I decided I'm gonna dye my hair pink. And so I dyed my hair pink, and I ended up having pink hair for like a year. And I think I ruined every single hotel room and bathroom and so I'm sorry for that. I owe you. It was the Super Bowl. I got to sing with Sting, one of my favorites. I think my favorite Sting story is back in the olden days, like when I was in 8th grade. So like we're talking 13 years old. My dad worked for Yamaha motorcycles, and for some reason he got like tickets, and we got to go backstage to see the Police, and it was like Synchronicity tour. And they were doing a photo shoot backstage. This is like a miracle, by the way. I'm 13 years old and my dad has these tickets. And we go backstage, and they were gonna shoot Sting on a motorcycle. And so I went back there and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Sting. And they were like, no, go up to him and get an autograph. Here's the picture, you can get an autograph. And I was like, why? Like, okay. And like ran up to him, and he was on the motorcycle, and he was like Like he didn't even want, like he was like, who's this little chubby girl coming up to me? Like he didn't say that, but I could see it in his eyes. You know you were thinking that, Sting. And he gave me his autograph, but he was really like annoyed that like, that's like my favorite. So anyways, years later, I got to have dinner with Sting and tell him the story. And he was like, oh, it's really, and so anyways, and then cut to, I get to do the Super Bowl with Sting, my idol. I hadn't had my children yet. I had written a bunch of songs with Pharrell, who just fell in love with him because he somehow got me. I can remember we wrote Hollaback Girl and we were gonna do the video, and this is like after already releasing What You Waiting For, and then I think this was like our third single. I remember like, wow, why didn't we come with this one first? But we didn't. I just felt like I was just gonna dress the way that I always dressed, which is, that's the way I dressed my whole life. So I was just gonna dress like that again. I'm pregnant with Kingston. It was just like the craziest thing. I waited my whole life to have a baby. That's all I ever wanted to do, is have a baby. And I was basically going on my first solo tour. It was like a really small tour, but it was my first time like ever with like doing costume changes and doing these songs without No Doubt. Like it was like a huge deal. And while I was training to get ready, I twisted my ankle, first of all, and I find out that I'm pregnant with Kingston in rehearsals. I was like, why am I so grumpy? Like, what's wrong with me? Long story short, here's me at the Grammys in this custom, beautiful gown that Andrea Lieberman made for me. And I just remember feeling like so protective, like being out like of my stomach, like being pregnant for the first time and being out there public, but amazing memories. This is after I gave birth to Kingston. When he was 9 weeks old, I went in the studio and I meet Akon. And it was like this weird, like, wait, like, why are you my best friend right now? And we wrote The Sweet Escape. And it was like one of those magical days where you're like, I was not expecting that one. And took my baby home and I was like, I have this song and I'm gonna do another record because I have this song, this great song. And so this is me at TRL with the Sweet Escape album. You know, I don't know if you can tell in the photo, but this was the beginning of the rest of my life this night, because it was the first date that Blake and I went on kind of out together into the world, and so in love, like feeling so excited, and got to wear such a beautiful gown. That gown for me really represents like just my whole heart and how I was feeling in that moment. And I remember also that my hair was perfect before I left. Like we're talking about Danilo perfect. And it was raining that night, so it still looks pretty in this photo, but it looked like a sculpture. I love you, Danilo. This was the first time Blake and I were ever on the red carpet, and probably one of the last, because Blake does not like doing a red carpet. I think I got like a fashion icon award or something like that. And just one of those moments where I got to work with Vera Wang. She made this gown and I got to wear it. It all just feels fake, and in the sense that how could this happen in my life? But I just remember that night being really, really special. Blake came with me, and to be able to wear such a beautiful dress, it never gets old. And also I can remember feeling like so nervous because I don't really like to do speeches that much, and like to get up in front of everyone and be like, and thank you, and I want to thank this person. And I was like, that's gonna be, so it was like a blur. But I just remember looking out and seeing Blake and like, I won. I got to wear Vera Wang again, and it was a custom gown that she made, and it was just such an incredible moment for me to wear that dress. That dress is just stunning. I've been invited to the Met Gala a lot, and I think I've only gone like 3 times, because it's just, how do you fly to New York just to go to a party. Like this particular year, I was like, I'm gonna go. I'm just launching my makeup line. I want to go. I want to go. I want to go to New York. I haven't been to New York, so we got there, and I'm in the hotel room, and I have basically a makeup artist that is a new makeup artist that I had never really worked with. We get to the room, and she has a family emergency, and it's the day of the Met Gala, and they are like, you don't have a makeup artist. And I was like, what? Thank God I brought my makeup kit with me, and I had to do my own makeup. But when I say I had to, it was definitely a blessing, because it was one of those, okay, do or die moments where it's like, okay, show them what you got, you got this. And I just remember feeling like it was like this really electric feeling where I was just sitting in the chair going, okay, let's just do the makeup. And it all worked out it was meant to be.